Hey, good morning, everyone. Let us start this session. A warm welcome to our Broadmasters, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Today, I would like to share a short accepted Master Xin Qin's speech. Attract more bodhisattva by keeping oneself upright. Each bodhisattva holds a candle and lights it. With each flicker of candlelight, the space brightens. The inherent Buddha nature in human is as bright as candlelight, only obscured by accumulated habit over lifetimes. Having awakened now, one must keep himself upright and positively strive at the same time to attract more bodhisattva.感恩 for Master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers to the 10 directions. May the Saha land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disaster in the world. Let us pray together for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make the wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us Let us invite our masters to let us in paying homage to the triple gems. Let us pray pay our respect for the teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Zhen Yan by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And the bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have Brother Joe Huang who will be sharing on the Dharma Insights, and followed by Sisters Xin Qin from Singapore who will be sharing on experimenting with media in Veg Promo. Okay, now let us invite Sister Su Ching for weekly summary. Sister Su Ching, over to you.
Okay, let me share screen. Okay, so last week we had a couple of sharers. Okay, so we first had Brother Joe, and Brother Joe had sharing on Dharma Insights. Though many tales of past lifetimes of the Buddha we have been hearing, do we as disciples still doubt Buddha and his teachings? Is it because of the proximity of the people that we have known that we underestimate the extent that Buddhism has grown? For instance, volunteers from Taiwan with their hearts aglow, encountering kindred spirits from the seeds that Tzu Chi sows. In shared devotion to Tzu Chi's truths, we see others equally diligent, emerging from the earth, truly a global enlightenment movement. The Tzu Chi Foundation truly brings people together, each of us with something to contribute to each other. Then we had 2 questions for Brother David Liu. Question 1 was, in Parinirvana, what awaits a Buddha's essence? Does the Buddha perpetually return to earth, or by solemn vows only then continue an earthly presence? Also in chapter 15, which mentions of the many bodhisattvas, who guides them, Buddha Sakyamuni or Buddha Dharmakaya? Brother David Liu said, in this world, Buddha and Master Cheng Yan preach, Buddhahood is attainable and very within our reach. Intentions set the path, without them, naught is sought. The lessons are important, not by whom is taught. The second question, which is very long, now I'll summarize. In this era of Dharma's ebb, do we wander lost? As evil's pace quickens, what's the world's cost? Amidst suffering's cry, why does Maitreya wait? To birth a new dawn, or must mankind meet its dark fate? Brother David said, there is no need to ponder these references of an unpractical kind. It is often too obscure to the ordinary mind. Heaven and hell are within our mind and soul's terrain. Through our own self, do what we can in our personal domain. Then Brother Yu from Taiwan related a story about 3 brothers from Afghanistan in his sharing called That Way Home. In Turkey's refugee camps where Brother Yu once found his way, learning many refugees' journeys fraught with misadventures across Aegean's Bay. Footprints etched in trials because of circumstances they are forced to tread. Tzu Chi's 25-year presence in Turkey recorded stories that were hardship-fed. Quakes and migrations were trials of yesteryears. Syrian migrants, local earthquake victims, and Afghans migrants' tears. In El Manahil School, students sang prayers for Hualien's recent quake. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims' hearts came together to partake. Stories of people once aided now extend their hand. Brother Yu has a collection of tales of hope in a distant land. 3 Afghan brothers, Rahim, Jawad, and Zulmay. Through camps in many countries, theirs is a journey that started with dismay. With Jingsu aphorism as their constant guide, in bags and hearts, they kept the Jingsu aphorism book by their side. NGOs and charities their refuge did keep They stayed, reassessed, escaped, stowed away, and reap. The three brothers made their ways to Paris, Berlin, and Porto, their paths with Brother Yu intertwined. The four made a promise years ago before to meet in a city in Europe somewhere, sometime. Master said that we have a duty without our faith unwavering. With each refugee child is ours to hold with hands that are loving. Okay, and for listening, I shall stop share here. And Brother Robert, shall we do this?
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Hi. Hello. Morning. Is
See,
Brother Chin here already?
I don't see the person in question,
He's
but we can still do what we need to do.
yeah.
So you want to introduce it, then I'll play the song.
Brother Chin, are you here? Oh, he's you have not logged in yet, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Or you want me to give him a call, or he should be in that. He knows that he need to be in that. Okay, let me just give him a call and see. Oh.
Okay. So today is Brother Chin's birthday.
He is supposed to be hosting today's session, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give him a call.
We can only sing a song to the person if he attends. So just wait a while, a little bit.
It's ringing, but
It's not picking up.
he's not answering. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, shall we proceed then with Brother Joe? Then, once he comes in, maybe in between the session, then we will do something or what? Is it
Can-
okay?
Mm. Brother Joe is already here.
Yeah. Then we will pass the session to Brother Joe first. And then,
Brother Joe, are you there? Okay. I see.
Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Unfortunately, I saved my voice to sing the song, but it would appear that I would not have, the first break of my voice for today. I could not save for Brother Chin. That's unfortunate.
Lubricate it first. Because most of the time when I wake up, I sound like a toad. I croak.
Yeah, right. But regardless, okay. So do I start? And until somebody had to give me a cue,
Right.
let me know that Brother Chin is
Oh,
online.
I think Brother Chin is coming in now. Yeah, Brother Chin is coming
Okay.
in now.
All right. Then let's
Let's see, he's coming in
proceed
now.
let's proceed.
So let's wait for him to come in. Yeah, he's connecting. Hi, Brother
Hi,
Chin.
brother.
Yeah.
We're trying to call.
Yeah, we were just trying to make a police report already and find out what happened to you.
Today's birthday. So now, everybody.
Okay.
I thought I was late.
No. You are just in time. Just in time for the birthday cake. Yeah. So I think all of us are so eager to celebrate your
Just like to receive the
birthday.
first call of the day from you,
Yes. Just want to make sure, because otherwise the candles on the cake will all burn out, and then we would have nothing to celebrate. Yeah, today we want to have a little celebration to wish you, okay, let's play the song.
All right.
And maybe for those who are convenient, please on your video as we celebrate
Happy
Brother Chin's
birthday
birthday.
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
One more time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Oh, I'm glad. Surprised you all know it's today.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Brother Chin, wishing you abundance of good health, abundance of happiness, wisdom, and Dharma joy as you walk the path, and many happy returns.
Yes, and may I share all the blessings with you all, okay?
Okay,
With all each and every one of you
thank you. Okay,
and your family.
thank you. Now back to you as the host now, and then
Over to you.
So, Sister Lily, right?
Brother Chin, we have completed the prayers and the weekly summary. So
Sorry?
we have completed the weekly summary and also the prayers just now.
Oh, we have done that?
Yeah,
So we can start now,
yeah.
3 minutes early. And Brother Joe is already online.
yes.
Excellent. Brother Joe, welcome back again.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. It's
wonderful. Always a
a
good
year
day.
older. Hopefully a year wiser. Hopefully.
Definitely. I think, and we're about to enjoy the 58th birthday for Tzu Chi also. Starting today, it's already the sutra. So we're gonna be, for the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be Lotus Sutra. Starting today is the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. So welcome everybody to the morning sutra chanting sessions, where we can now chant and have an opportunity to go through some of the sutra texts that we were familiar to, but after so long, we might have not had a chance to go pick it up again. So, and that would be a wonderful birthday present to you, Brother Chin, and to all of us, actually, to all of us.
It's all yours, Brother Joe.
Okay, thank you. So today, I thought about what I wanted to share. Thank you, everybody, for giving me this opportunity and also the platform to share. Maybe next few weeks I'll be doing something a little bit different. But today, because I actually looked back and I thought that a couple of years ago, I think ever since COVID started, the frequency of my sharing here every Saturday has lessened tremendously. And I think that if there is an opportunity for me to come back to pick it up again, maybe in this time slot, 6:30 to 7, every week for about 30 minutes, going back to what I was doing before, that would be wonderful. And recently I've been doing something a little bit different, and I want to try that. I'm trying to pick up some current events and current news, and these news might not have immediate association with Tzu Chi. And so I thought that maybe going through some of these world events, it might not be political, it might not be geopolitical, but it's actually something that perhaps many of us weren't aware of. And by bringing up these issues, they coincide with Master's teachings and how they coincide or how they interact. And that's something that perhaps I would like to have the opportunity to go through that, combing through some of these current events and current news, and then somehow integrate that with some of the key messages that we want to say. But before that, I've been combining the current news into a book study that I've been doing with Singapore, and that is the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. Singapore has been planning to the Sutra of Infinite Meanings stage performance, much like the one that we have done in the past 2 years in Taiwan. And they wanted to start by going through the book studies on the Sutra of Infinite Meanings in English, before they're able to sort of commence the preparation for the stage performance. And so we had this opportunity, and it's been going on for 2 months, once a month. And the content that I prepared that I thought maybe I share with you guys today. And there's an integration of Tzu Chi and also the sutra, and also some of the current news that I read, that I prepared. So let me go through this, and let me share with you today's content. And I hope that we can all sort of have a better idea. So my idea was that the sharing has to be very practical, and it should be very realistic, and it's filled with logic. And there shouldn't be much of leap of faith where you have to suspend your belief for a moment to believe in what all the stories are. And this is what I really wanted to reach out, is using logic, using common sense. How can people see all the things that you have read and all the things that you have gone through in Tzu Chi or in the sutra? So I think it's very important is to understand the context, to understand the background, and then to be able to read between the lines. And it's something that I've always tried to do very hard is, given the sutra, we're able to read the sutra, or we're able to listen to the teachings given by the master. But read between the lines means, why, given the context, did the Buddha say these things? Why did the Buddha teach these things? Why did the master use these stories to share? What was the point? What was the main point that the master wanted to bring out? I mean, following the sutra, explaining every segment and every piece of words is the natural way to go. But there must be a reason why master said certain things, because in her mind, that is the most important. Okay, so that's what I wanted to get to. Instead of just going through the content, I wanted to bring out some of my I don't want to say insights, but my feelings about why this was said. Okay, so I'm not sure how far we can go today, but I think this is a different perspective, and it allows us to see the sutra or see the world in a much bigger sense than if we were just reading it. So first of all, the context, the three chapters, and we're by no way far ahead, but we're just starting the chapter on virtues. And so from chapter 1, and we have the English version finally. So from chapter 1, the virtues, we're going to be covering today the very, very first section. There are 11 sections, subsections here in chapter 1. So we're coming into the first one. Tens of thousands came before the Buddha. And these are all following in order from the sutra text. So this is the sutra text for this particular sharing, that it covers all these. So this is the very, very beginning, right? From the very, very beginning. And these are the English. So it starts from, thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying at Rajagriha, and that's just basically starting all the way until after all the people, after all the participants were announced. And then finally, towards the end, they burned incense, scattered flowers, and made many kinds of offerings. After the offerings to the Buddha, they stepped back and sat down to one side. So that was the the content in terms of the sutra content that we'll be covering in this particular section. So looking into this part, there are several things that the book actually divides the content into. First of all, there is the "Thus have I heard," and then there are 3 subsections. It was broken down into Ananda's 4 questions, compiling the sutra in Saptaparni cave, and the 3 meanings of "Thus have I heard." So in the book, in the book that goes through the master's teaching, there are 3 subsections in "Thus have I heard." Next part is the time and location. And master, there were 2 subsections talking about the origin of Rajagaha, which is the city of the house of kings, Wang Shechen. And then there is talking about the spiritual center suitable for spreading the Dharma. The next part are talking about the participants, the people coming to participate in this assembly. And there are all these people that were discussed. So there are the 3 meanings of the bhikshus and the pure practice of heavenly beings, and all beings came to hear the Dharma. And lastly, it's about what they did, all the people that came, and what did they do? And so what did they do? Well, encouraging everyone to hear the Dharma and 3 types of offering from the Buddha's disciples. So today, the portion is a lot. I mean, there's a lot to cover. And in the book, it's about less than 100 pages. And so our book study, we're trying to cover this ground, and which I'm trying to go through some of the important parts in this. So there are 4 parts that's completely covered by these sections, and according to the book. So that's going to be the 4 parts: the beginning parts, location and time, the people, and action. So the 4 questions, the 3 meanings, the 4 questions by Ananda, and the 3 meanings of "Thus have I heard," location and the time, the people who were there, and action, what did they do and why. So first, we're going to be talking about the beginning, and we might only have time to cover from the beginning, but it's fine, because I think it's always good to sort of get a different perspective on what this is. So Ananda's 4 questions, and these were the beginning of the book, where master went through how "Thus have I heard" was used. And the origin of that was that Ananda one day heard that the Buddha was sort of towards the end of Buddha's life here on earth. And so the life was fading. So Ananda had to ask these 4 questions. And these 4 questions are: how will we be able to prove that these teachings belong to the Dharma that the Buddha taught? The second question: after the Buddha departs from the world, whom shall we call our teacher? The third question: if there are unruly bhikshus who do not accept the teachings, how should we discipline them? And the fourth question: once the Buddha departs from the world, with whom or in what shall we take refuge? Now, to me, these 4 questions, there are 2 parts that's very important. 1, what are the answers to these questions? And 2, why do we ask these questions? There must be a reason, and there must be logic. There must be very sound logic and common sense on why these 4 questions were asked. And today, we're not just going to be talking about the answer, but we'll be talking about why these questions were asked. And it will also reflect on what the Buddha's intentions were. And I think that's very important, because we tend to not go into that much detail. We tend to just focus on the answer to these questions, and then we sort of go from there. Whatever the Buddha replied must be the perfect answer. And so we just take it and we believe it, and then we sort of digest it, and that's it, right? So that we know the 4 questions that was asked, and then we know the 4 answers that was given, and that was it. But what does that mean? What does that mean? What does it really mean? And so today I would like to go into what they really mean. So I believe that the first question, how will we be able to prove that these teachings belong to the Dharma that the Buddha taught. I believe it speaks about authenticity. For Dharma or for the teaching to be able to pass down for generations, for 25 centuries, the authenticity of the teaching must be verified. This must be something that we know for sure, that there was no blending in of other teachings from other schools or from other teachers or anything. The source must be authentic. It must be pure. It must be completely off the origin from the Buddha. So, the very first question is, how will we be able to prove? And this speaks authenticity. So that's one of the key issues, authenticity of the teachings. Next, when the Buddha departs from the world, whom shall we call our teacher? And this speaks about continuity, that after the Buddha leaves this world, departs from this world, how will we continue our teaching? How will we continue our spreading of the Dharma? What should we do? And this is talking about the continuity. Third, if there are unruly bhikshus, or if there are anybody who challenges or do not accept, how should we discipline or how should we interact with these people? So it's not just talking about the internal unruly bhikshus. It's talking about the time, the people, the place. They're all changing. What should we do? And this talks about adaptability. The adaptability of the Dharma, the adaptability of the teaching, so that in different world, in different people, in different time, that we're able to adapt to and accommodate and to be able to adjust so that the people, the time, and the place will be able to accept the teaching more readily. At the same time, not changing your core fundamental teachings. Last, once the Buddha departs from the world, with whom or in what shall we take refuge? And I use the word survivability, or another word, it could be sustainability, depending on how urgent or how important you put it. I use the word survivability because for an idea, for a teaching to be able to sustain and to be able to survive, I think there is a different tone in place. To be able to survive means that it's even possible that it will go through up and down, but you're able to survive means that even in the lowest of the lowest times, you're able to fall back and you're able to come back again, making a comeback. Sustainable means keeping it in a calm fashion where you sustain a continuous growth or sustain the process for a while. But I want to use the word survival because I think that teachings, while they will remain as true teachings throughout ages and throughout time. But the amount of people or the amount of frequency that the teaching was used is the testament of how it has survived through time. So I think it's important that when the teachings is fading or when the teachings is moving away from what it used to be, we have to make a comeback. We have to make it live through the time where it might be shifting or it might be slowly changing. So I think survivability is the word that I want to use because it's evident that this is a very important issue to survive, not just sustain, but survive. Okay, so that's the 4 questions. So now let's go into the first. Before we go into the first question, this is what I did. This is what I did to try to bring up a different taste. So I will go through some of the major news outlets, and I read through these stories, and I tried to come up with something that fits the content. So, for example, from Wall Street Journal, and this is what one of the news article. And as we know, starting from 2022, February 24th, the war in Ukraine between the Ukrainian and the Russian broke out. And ever since, it has been a war of nutrition. And not nutrition, war of attrition, where you just basically stand on both sides and there is a stalemate but it just depends on who has more people, money, ammunition. And depending on who loses more first, and the other side wins. Okay, so it's a war of attrition based on who has more resources and who can stand longer. So the war has been going on for, this is the third year already. It's already into the third year. So what is happening, right? And it has become a small drones war. So how the American drones are doing. So according to the Wall Street Journal, they did a piece on how the American drones are doing in the war in Ukraine. And the outcome is not so good if you're on the side of America. So in the first war featuring small drones prominently, American companies or companies that are making these drones have no meaningful presence, especially made in America drones tend to be expensive, glitchy, and hard to repair. Okay, so the Ukrainian officials have found that the US-made drones are fragile and unable to overcome Russian jamming and GPS blackout technology. In fact, sometimes they couldn't even take off to fly. They're not able to complete missions or even returning home. So this is something that is a huge issue. And I think that we probably all know that the drone technology, or at least these technology, definitely, I think US has a technological advance ahead of many countries in the world. But as more countries and as more nations catch up to this technology, and more things are happening, are you able to adapt? Are you able to keep true the authenticity of what the drones are supposed to do, to be able to fly, to be able to operate, to be able to execute some of the actions and missions? That's authenticity. Are you able to keep true to all of these main goals of the drones, the main objectives of the drones? But are you able to continue your technological advancement and technological edge over other countries? And are you able to adapt in the environment where there is an active Russian electronic warfare, jamming, and also GPS blackout that take away your eyes and take away your communication? What can your drones do? So all these are very important. Are you able to adapt? And so what we're hearing is there are issues happening and they are not able to adapt because the DJI, or it's Dajiang, it's one of the biggest and probably the most advanced drone technology company in the world, and it's a Chinese company. And therefore, because of this, the US called DJI a Chinese military company and a surveillance tool for Beijing. So once you have that marker on DJI, so the Pentagon banned all the DJI drones in the US military. So one of the biggest company, they were able to make the most advanced drones. And even though they denied that they use it for military purposes, but it has been readily used by many countries, including Ukraine and including Russia, to use DJI drones for military purposes. And they have denied publicly to say that we didn't do this. We didn't design this for military, and it was used by our buyers, and that's something that's beyond our scope of influence. We can change that. And so because of this, the US actually banned their drones, and in fact, their products, all their components that you cannot use. So the shortcomings of that is that the drone makers, they can't use these better components or parts because there was a ban on all the things that DJI produces. And so because of this ban, the drone companies made it more expensive and harder to build it. And so now you have less than premium parts building the drones that are going to fight in the drone war where other people are using the best parts. So who is going to win? And that's not going to be easy. So in this particular news, we see that, and we probably see from a lot of different news too, how in the industry, in the changing world, things are changing so fast that you just get lost. You just get lost in the shuffle of time. And this happens. And this is right now happening to the war in Ukraine. So authenticity. So let's coming back to the sutra. Authenticity. Thus have I heard. And there were three meanings. First of all, it talks about following Buddha's final instructions. These are the Buddha's specific words that you need to use. Thus have I heard as the opening of the sutra. So that's the final instructions given by the Buddha. Second, this sees all disputes. Third, this will distinguish the Buddha's teachings. And I would like to make sure that we get, a very important view about this. Sees all disputes, because at the time when Ananda first publicly recites the teachings from the Buddha, he uses, thus have I heard. And at the time, the Buddha was already passed. So when Ananda recited the Buddha's teaching, there were confusion. There were confusions about, is this the Buddha again? Did Ananda become the Buddha? Did the Buddha come back? All these were confusions. But when Ananda used the word, thus have I heard, everybody right away knew that this was not Ananda speaking his own thoughts. These were Ananda repeating the words that he had heard from the Buddha in his teachings. So it seizes all disputes about who said these. Were these words from the Buddha? Did Ananda become the Buddha? Or did the Buddha come back? Or was the Buddha Ananda at all, completely? So there were all these confusion, and thus have I heard, supposedly sees all disputes. It stops and eliminates all disputes about who was saying these words. Thus have I heard means that I have heard the teaching from the Buddha, and now I'm repeating to all of you. So this is very important. So I would like to make sure that we all see this. The threats to authenticity comes from both external and internal. I'm sure that at the time, there were so many religious sects around, and there are many teachings around, that you all want to get more followers. You all want to get more disciples. And therefore, it's very possible that people might be using interchangeably. This is my teaching, but I use some blends from the Buddha, and I use some blends from this other master. So how do you distinguish the Buddha's teaching from other schools? How do you distinguish that? And therefore, there are the threats to the authenticity, both external and internal. Internal meaning that maybe the Buddha didn't say these words, or maybe the Buddha said these words, but not in this context. But whatever it is, we must make sure that there is a way to make sure the authenticity of Buddha's words. Not only that, I think the best proof of authenticity within this context, you might say, just having these 4 words, thus have I heard, cannot possibly guarantee that these are the words spoken by the Buddha. You're absolutely right. Anybody can say, thus have I heard, following by all his own things. So how can you say that all these things, that all these 4 characters will be able to prove the authenticity of the sutra? How can you prove that? Well, at the time, this was already the best way to prove that this is authentic. Why? Because there was no writing. There was no paper at the time. How could you write all these down? There was nothing. So the only thing that you had at the time was that using these 4 words sort of became the formal beginning of all Buddhist sutras. And that was all that there is. Imagine this. Right now today, on Da'ai TV, on the upper right-hand corner, there will be a Da'ai TV logo. And that sort of shows you that this is something that is official. However, you are able to do this on your own. in all of your videos. If you're good enough, you will be able to put that logo up yourself. So what does that mean? It means that for all the followers and disciples, that this is something that we look to, but we also know that this is by all means not the only and the best proof of authenticity. But within this context, it's the best we can do. Just like the Dai videos, that within the context of the videos, having a logo on the upper right-hand corner is already the best that we can do. You can't possibly restrict all the YouTube videos. You can't possibly have it all locked up and making sure nobody gets a copy and nobody can sort of interject their own contents of video. So what this is important is that it tries to do something, but it's not complete. It cannot possibly complete to make sure that this is authentic and this is not, because this part has thus had by her and this doesn't. It should not be like that, but it's just a way to try to prove. And the last thing the Buddha wants was more internal disputes. We all know that in order for the Sangha to be able to prosper, all the people, the member of the Sangha in the order of Buddhist teachings must all unite together. The last thing, the only thing that will probably destroy the entire order or the entire religion is from within, not from the outside, but from within. So that's very important. That's why the three meanings are this important. Okay, so continuity. What would the teacher be after the Buddha passes? So the answer that the Buddha gave was precept. And why not naming a successor? Why not saying, oh, so and so, right? Why not saying it's Shariputra, right? Why not somebody who is very famous at the time? So because Master said, follow the Dharma and not the person. And this is a way to make sure the continuity happens, in that the precepts is something that will not change over time. If you name a successor, there's still going to be a time when the successor passes and they will have to name another person. So instead of having a person, you have the Dharma. You have an institution that act as your guidance and teacher, and that's precepts. And though this talks about continuity, so precept is our teacher, and this is something that it's probably another topic, and this is something that I also believe very strongly. So precepts, as we know, it sort of says that you can't do this and you can't do that. But we all know from our classes, from our sharings, that all the people that talks about the precepts, we all know that it's not designed to stop and stop you, to limit you what you can or cannot do. It shouldn't be, even though people think of it that way. Oh, you do not kill, right? Do not steal, and do not fornicate, and do not blah 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 blah. So there's a lot of things, right? But it's not designed to stop what you want to do or what you don't want to do. It's something to keep in your minds always. And what does that mean? I think this is a way to protect us. How? It is my strong belief that the 10 precepts, 慈济十戒, 慈济 10 precepts, they're not enforceable by all of our volunteers, right? I believe that the 10 precepts must be upheld in our events, at the grounds of our Jingsi Hall, or when we are putting on our uniform. These are the things, the precepts that we must do. I absolutely agree. On the grounds of Jingsi Tang, we must make sure that we don't do these things. On the ground, in our events, we must make sure that we follow these precepts. However, when you're returning home, in the confines of your home, at your workplace, maybe when you're driving, it's not something that I can jump out and say, you have violated, the 8th precept, or you have violated the 9th precept. That's not something that I can restrict you. So the precept isn't something that gives you the power to say, you got it wrong. You can't do this. and now I'm going to kick you out. No, you can't. This is not what the precept does. But instead, it's something that makes sure we do not accidentally form bad affinity. We do not unintentionally, like we didn't realize, for example, do not kill. And yeah, you know, I'm not talking about just killing another human being. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about killing another life. We're talking about being vegetarian. And so I didn't realize, you know, I spent the good part of my life being a meat eater because I didn't realize that. And it was only when I was 23 or so that I start to become a vegetarian. But before that, I didn't realize that the meaning behind taking all these lives. I was just eating, and it was just part of my diet. But did I know that I had unintentionally and accidentally, without my knowing, that all these living beings that I have eaten in my life, they have become and formed a very bad affinity with me? Did I realize that? No, I didn't. I probably sort of knew, but I didn't get it. So I accidentally take all their lives and put it into my stomach. And I have formed such bad affinity with them without my knowing. So this is the whole point about precepts. Imagine following traffic rules. Why do you do this? Because you didn't realize that when you sharply turn the corner or cut in front of somebody, you have formed a very bad affinity with another person that's driving. You didn't know that. Or maybe you did, but you didn't think that was important. So the precepts were there so that when in our mind, we do not accidentally do something that form bad affinity. Why is this affinity important? As you probably all know, affinity or karma, it controls many things that we are seeing today. That I'm able to speak to you, that we are friends, that we have good feelings toward each other, means that we have good affinity. And that we have built this affinity from lives past, from all our past engagements, from all of our past dealings, that we have formed good affinities. And not only this, Tzu Chi is able to step out of Taiwan to be able to reach out to many, many people because Master have formed great affinity with many, many people. Things are able to be completed, not just relying on the capabilities of the people, but also, more importantly, that there were very good affinities with all the people involved. That's how things can be done. Otherwise, you can be a very resourceful person, you can be a very capable person, but you might realize that there is just no good opportunity because bad affinities are all around you. So the precepts are there so that when it's in your mind, when you're about to do something that may form bad affinities with the people or with the sentient beings around you, the precepts becomes a glaring alarm. It's an alert that's in your mind that says, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should consider stopping. But there is no one person that's going to jump out and put you and tie you up in rope and say, you can't do this. Ultimately, it's still you that have to do this. So just like a teacher, we learn the teachings from school, but we practice what we learn in our lives. Just like the school and the teacher, precept is the same way. We learn it and then we practice it. But it's not someone who is gonna take our whip and say, if you don't do this, I'm going to whip you. No, nothing like that happens. Precepts is something that's in our minds. When you're about to step outside a boundary, that it should come up and warn you. So I believe that the precepts works when everybody begin to have the idea that when you're about to say something you shouldn't, when you're about to do something that you shouldn't, these warnings come out in your mind and somehow you're able to change your actions. That's when the precept really works. So adaptability. And this is something that I think is really big. to unruly bhikshus or people who do not choose to accept Buddha, what should we do? Amazingly, this question, the answer to this question was, we must use compassion to show these unruly bhikshus the errors of their ways. And if they refuse to learn, even the Buddha could do nothing but ignore. Ignore them. Let them be. Be compassionate. Are you kidding me? Buddha is the founder. Buddha is the person that sort of founded the entire Buddhist teaching. And you're telling me that when there are followers and disciples that refuse to accept a certain part of the teaching, even the Buddha couldn't do anything? Are you kidding me? This is the fact. The Buddha did not say, I am the founder or I am the head of the Sangha. Therefore, with the power vested in me, I now pronounce you out of the Sangha. The Buddha didn't say that. The Buddha didn't say that. And why? Because I really think that this is the ultimate goal. Given the historical background of the society during the time of 500 BC, Buddha wanted to form a Sangha, this monastic order, to be the least authoritative, with as much liberty and freedom for all the members of the Sangha. Can you imagine? Even the founder cannot say, you get out of my order. No, just like Master. Master will not say, you are no longer my disciple. Because the disciples choose their master, and Master will take in as is. I will give you the teaching unconditionally. But I will not tell you one day that you are not my student anymore. That's not Master's way. So it's not like a corporation where somebody didn't perform well, or somebody made a mistake or screw up, and then you say, fire him. You're fired. No, that's not the way. Buddha formed this Sangha to be least authoritative. There isn't one authoritative figure that says, you can't do this and you are out. But we as ordinary beings, we do this, right? So that's how this thing happens, where the Buddha's original intent might not go into how we actually practice it right now. It's very possible, okay? So the Buddha was trying to, I believe this is what Buddha's thinking was. What supposedly binds the Sangha together, it's not the rules and the precepts, but everyone's willingness to follow the precepts. So this is like a family where we are truly in the family, where you are my brother or you are my sister, regardless of all the mistakes that you have done, regardless of how I like you or how I don't like you, but we are bound together through Dharma. We are bound together through our affinity. It's not about what you did or what you didn't do, but we are related by blood. Same thing in the Sangha. We are related by Dharma. So even though you made this bad mistake, or you now choose to not accept the teaching, but as long as you stay within, as long as you do not leave voluntarily, you are still within the order, and you're still part of us. Amazing. I think this is a truly, at the time of 500 BC, when the world and the society, the structure is very, very much authoritative, right? You have kings, you have these ministers, the caste system of the society is very, very obvious. It's very, very important to how the society functions. But the Buddha wanted to form a Sangha where everybody is equal, where everybody has the same level playing ground. And there isn't one person that is very authoritative to say you're in and you're out. Amazing. I think this is what I got from reading for these 4 questions and the answers from within. So the adaptability of the individual, combining that collectively, forms the adaptability of the entire group. So instead of trying to say that you do not want to accept, so you're out, what the Buddha was trying to say is, even if they do not choose to accept, we must use compassion, understand what happened. Instead of trying to say, kick them out right away, that's our mindset. But is that something that we do? Probably not enough. Not enough. So compassion is always the key to adaptation. How do you change? Imagine this. How could you keep some member of the Sangha who doesn't even accept the teaching? But I remember reading this. The book title is called Invincible. And this was, I think, a biography about Abraham Lincoln. And back then, during the Civil War, or before the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was running for president of the United States. And at the time, he had many, he's from the Republican Party, and he had many people running against him. And at the time, all the people that were running against him are, as during the time, that are more capable, as Abraham Lincoln himself said, that they were a lot more capable than he can be in different specific areas. But who won the election? Abraham Lincoln. At the time, it was actually voted by the Congress, not voted by the people. So he won. What did he do? He take in 3 of his major opponents, and they become his cabinet members. They all occupy a very important position within his cabinet. Why? Because they are capable, even though they have very different ideology with Abraham Lincoln. And I think this was the ideal, was that how does the Sangha itself able to adapt? Because within the order, there are people of different mindset. And it's not just different mindset. We probably all still believe. I mean, the fact that they are staying in means they still believe with Buddha. But there are certain part of it they're thinking about changing. And I think that's very important. The idea is that to be able to adapt, you need to be able to listen to some people, to people with different opinions. And that's what I meant. It's not authoritative. It has liberty and freedom. And that's why you see all these, the growing of all the different beliefs. Do I think this is good? I don't know. But I definitely think that there is a huge potential. There's a huge reason behind the way that the Buddha did it this way. Because against the backdrop of 500 BC, against the backdrop of the history, we knew at the time this was completely new. This idea was new. This idea of forming something that is liberty, that is more freedom, not authoritative, it's brand new. And I think this is something that if you read between the lines, you could get that, and then you could reflect back to how are we doing today? Today, this idea of liberty and freedom is all around us, right? In Malaysia, in Singapore, in Taiwan, in US, in all these countries. Most of our countries, we have all these freedom and liberty. So this is something that we probably take it for granted, that it's very normal, right? It's very normal. But imagine 500 BC. This was what the Buddha said. Even if they have different thinking than you do, don't just kick them out. Use compassion, understand where they're coming from. And then you try to get them to come back. And if not, you can't kick them out. They're going to be there. They're going to be part of you forever, as long as they want. Survivability. So to ensure the survivability of the teachings, the answer was the fourfold mindfulness. And there's mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feelings, mindfulness of mind, mindfulness of Dharma. So what does that mean? What does it mean to be ensuring the survivability? Like I said, I did not use the word sustainable because I think the sustainable is different. You know, like a human being can sustain life without eating for about a week, without water for about 2 days, without air for about less than an hour. Let's call sustaining. Sustaining your life is about keeping to the lowest possible while still performing or continuing. But survival is different. How do you make sure that when there's no more air, what do? You are at the last cusp of air, or you're at the 7th day when there's no more food. You're fighting for survival. What do? What do you fall back on? When all else fails, what do? And I think it talks about when all else fails, how do you find your way back? And I think that's where meditation comes in. Because when you have forgotten all the teachings, it's always important to come back to observing yourself, observing your body, the actions, the things that we do with our body, observing the sensations, the feelings that we get from these actions or from non-action. From our mind, what thoughts arise in our mind, observing. That's why meditation was important, because it always helps us to bring us back to where we were lost. You know, all the teachings we forgot, all the things that supposedly stay in our mind that didn't happen. But this is important. How do we get back, find ourselves again? The mind, the Dharma, okay, and contemplate and self-reflection. Okay, so these are the four questions. And authenticity, right? The first question is, how can we prove? And the Buddha said, thus have I heard. But to me, this is talking about authenticity. Who is going to be our teacher? And the Buddha answered precepts. This talks about continuity. And what do we do to people that do not accept or who sort of disagrees? Adaptability. How do you manage to change or adapt to a different time, different people, different environments? Survivability. What do you do when you're sort of down to your last resort? What do? Always coming back. You don't have to look to the outside, look to nature to feel, to understand the Dharma, but look to within. Observe your body. What are you doing? Observe your feelings from the body actions. Observe the thoughts that come from there, and observe all this Dharma that's within. It's very sort of, it's not easy, but it's something that will help us to calm down, and that will help us put us back onto the track of, on track again. So these are the, we probably only have enough time until now, and we probably should not going on to the next portion. But so this is something that I wanted to continue on, was there are these read between the lines and what it really means, and I really would like to use this opportunity to explore, because the sutra itself isn't just the words that the Buddha said. The Buddha has so much more to give than the words that we see today in the sutra. So there must be many more things that the Buddha was saying, but it's not in the words in the sutra. So these are in between the lines. These are Buddha's intentions. These are Buddha's thoughts that were not covered in the spoken words. So we must do our best to try to connect our hearts or connect our minds to Buddha's time, Buddha as a person, Buddha as a teacher. What was the Buddha trying to say? and what was the Buddha trying to achieve. Because let me show you, because all these things, these were not what the Buddha said. These were only the recounting of the situation at the time by Ananda. So these are not words of the Buddha, but these were in the sutra. And this was only Ananda saying what was happening. But even then, we're able to get a glimpse into the world that the Buddha lived in, the historical background of the Buddha, and what was the final dream world, or the dream that the Buddha wants. And next week we will have time to go through the next portions. But as today's time is up, that I think it's wonderful to have this opportunity to share with you some of my thoughts. Thank you, Gang En.
Gan En so much, Brother Joe. Love your sharing today. Excellent. And yeah, I can take the point that you mentioned, that a lot of the the words that being written in the sutra, there are meanings in between the lines. There's also meaning behind the words, and there's also meaning beyond the text. And you're right. We need to sit down and contemplate silently before we can realize those insights. So great effort, Brother Joe. We all love your sharing, and we look forward to the next sharing. But I think next week there won't be a session because they have the Chao San but next Saturday early morning. But we certainly want to welcome you back. Okay, don't leave us. All right. So next we have Sister Xin Qin, all the way from Singapore. She's online now, Miss Sister Ho Xin Qin. Experimenting with media in Veg Promo. Excellent. Well, was an intriguing topic, and I look forward to your sharing, sister. The platform is all yours.
Hi, thank you. Happy birthday to Brother Chin. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
Yeah, good morning, brothers and sisters. Okay, so my name is Xin Qin and I'm from Singapore. So yeah, thank you, Sister Su Ching, for inviting me to share again on the topic of vegetarianism. Yeah, so I remember I did my first sharing about last year, and Sister Su Ching wanted to use the English Xin Fa Xiang platform to have Veg Promo sharing once a month. Yeah, so really glad to have this opportunity to bring in a lot of my fellow Fa Qing to share with everyone about our efforts in promoting vegetarianism. Yeah, so let me just share my screen. Okay, so actually I am not a media person. Yeah, I'm from the healthcare sector lah. Yeah, so I think that I titled it experiment because really I really have nothing got to do with media until the COVID period, when Master educated us about the importance of promoting veg lah. Because I've been a vegetarian for many years, but I never had the concept that I need to influence others to become vegetarian. So really like very 忏悔 about this lah. Okay, so only during COVID that I Master's words really touched my heart, and I felt that really a lot of the world's problems are rooted in our greed, hatred, and ignorance, right? So, a very major part of our lifestyle is what we eat. Yeah, so that's when I started to explore. And I remember Master's advice to us was really to gather like-minded people and think of various ways and methods to just do it, just promote. Yeah, so I thought, wow, that was very exciting. We can just do what we want. Yeah, because there's no precedence. Yeah, so that's the journey of exploring with this media lah, which I'll share more later. So I wanted to start by to thank our English Xin Fa Xiang platform, because as you can see, this is the YouTube channel, and like my first exploration into like using Zoom and all these YouTube and stuff, right? Is really from attending all the Saturday morning sessions. That time we were still doing Xin Fa Xiang at our book cafe. Yeah, so I'm like really not an IT person. Yeah, but slowly we got to learn, and I saw that our Malaysia team was also learning along the way as well. So all these like live YouTube videos, yeah, from all the weekly sharings. Yeah, and then after we started our Veg Promo sharings, yeah, I was thinking, maybe nowadays people like to watch like more bite size, got like theme kind of thing. So I asked Sister Su Ching, who kindly gave me the permission to just do what you want with our channel, as long as it's within like Dharma, within 吃鸡 stuff, it's okay. Yeah, so I started to like cut all these videos, and then to give them a cover page, yeah, to showcase like all the different sharings lah. So you can see like all our brothers and sisters sharing on this is mainly like environmental and veg promo stuff. Yeah, so I think it was fun in the process, and to have this kind of platform to showcase everyone's story. So if you have time, please go online and click all these videos. They are really very, very, very good sharings. Okay. Yeah, so okay, in the process of preparing for this sharing, and also yeah, because Earth Day is coming up. Yeah, so I just like went online to like check out some videos on environmental. Yeah, so I was brought to this 看见 Taiwan. I don't know whether any of you watched it before, because it was quite a hit in 2013. Yeah, which I also got the chance to watch this. This is actually a movie that was filmed by this brother Qi Boling lah, who unfortunately actually passed away from during one of his helicopter flights, to video all these precious footages of Taiwan, because he really, really loved Taiwan a lot. Yeah, so and he's very into sustainability, environmentalism, and then he thought to himself, like, actually he wanted to share all this goodness with people, but people don't usually, they are not very aware of it, and they don't really care. So like he was describing in one of his like TED talk lah, in Chinese lah, that in a lecture theater, maybe with 1,000 people, probably 70% are like sleeping while listening to your sharing. So he felt that these methods are not very effective modes of bringing across his messages and changing people's like behavior kind of thing. So he was into like aerial filming, and then he thought that this is a very, very good way to showcase, but this is not his profession now, okay? And then he didn't have the means. So if you got a chance, really go and listen to his sharing. I thought it's very inspiring how he actually started from nothing. Like he quit his job at the age of 47. Yeah, and then he got like no funding, no nothing, and he wanted to do this project, yeah, to highlight all the issues, like what we are doing to our environment. And if you have watched the movie, I'm sure you'll be like greatly impacted by it as well. I see like all the very amazing images that he actually filmed from the helicopter, yeah, to showcase Taiwan, all the beauty. But unfortunately, a lot of the beauty had been distracted lah by our human behavior. Yeah, all our tourism, our deforestation, our animal agriculture and stuff. Yeah. So so he managed to create a big like hit, in Taiwan and worldwide lah. Yeah, so you can see that it's important, because even after his death, right, they actually set up the foundation, yeah, to continue his efforts. So it's very amazing that just by one documentary that, part of media, right, to really open up people's minds, and to actually get them to put it into action. Yeah, which is I believe this is what Master had been telling us a lot, as well as I listened to Master's teachings and her hopes for Ai TV and all. Yeah, because media is such a powerful tool that we want to bring across any form of information. Yeah, media is very powerful. Okay, so yeah, so I would just like to show this. Sorry, that's my cover page. I would just like to show this video about the upcoming 看见 Taiwan 3. Okay, so hope that we can all get a chance to watch it. Okay, yeah, please enjoy. Yeah, so looking forward to the part 3. Yeah, actually, a lot of effort. Yeah, it's not easy to come up with such a production. As you can see, it's really very, very beautiful. Yeah, so they call it Beyond Beauty, and it is totally true. Yeah, so watching this video is so much more interesting than like listening to my sharing, right? So you can see the power of media, that you catch people's attention, and with it's just its beauty and all. Yeah, so yes, so of course, I think that our little experiment with Veg Promo is nowhere near this kind of level, okay, but it's something that we can aspire to. And I think previously I was never like very into social media. I have a Facebook account, but I never really used it. Yeah, and then I don't really like watch a lot of YouTube, or those like watch those Netflix, all these things. Yeah, so it was the COVID period I guess that really, like, I think everyone is just like stuck at home, so we all tried to connect with more people through all this social media and stuff. Yeah, so to highlight like how important it is, the impact of media on everyone's life, right? I just like to share like a short clip from TED Talk, yeah, about like social media. So have a watch.
The dots on this screen represent an adult life in months assuming a life expectancy of 90. So if you're 18 years old right now, this is an optimistic estimate of the months that you have left. Take a second to take that in. Probably not as many as you would expect. And I'm sorry to say that it does get worse, because about a third of that time is going to be spent sleeping. On average, 126 of those months will go to school and your career. About 18 will be spent driving, 36 cooking and eating, 36 doing chores and errands, and about 27 in the bathroom and taking care of personal hygiene. So that leaves you with 334 months, optimistically, for everything else. So this is where you tick the boxes on your bucket list. This is where you pursue your passions and travel the world and leave your mark. How you spend this time is going to determine the quality of your life. But this time isn't just something that you spend, it's also something that you invest. Because what you do with it will quite literally determine the kind of person you become. The body, mind, and character that you will have in the future are being actively shaped by how you choose to use your time today. So take a second and ask yourself, what do you want to do with that free time? What things do you want to do that you haven't done? Who do you want to spend that time with? What is worth investing it in? Now, I would be willing to bet that scrolling through TikTok, binge watching Netflix, and playing video games probably did not come to mind. But today, the average 18-year-old in the United States is on pace to spend 93% of their remaining free time looking at a screen. That is not counting time for school. So wrap your head around how sad that is. Imagine getting to the age of 90, seeing this visualization of how you spent all your time after the age of 18, and thinking about all the things you could have done that you did not do because you got distracted.
Okay, yes. So I just cut a short clip out of this TED Talk. Yeah, actually, I feel that probably not just the youngsters lah. Actually, nowadays I see a lot of elderly also. Every day I watch YouTube, TikTok and all this lah. Yeah, so I agree with this what he just shared lah, that I think we spend most of our free time on our phones and all this, watching all this media and stuff. So you know, in Tzu Chi, Master talk about 入人群, right? Like we really need to go among the masses and all. Perhaps it's a very different like climate nowadays that, you know, other than physically interacting with people, we probably really have to think of how we can enter into this like online cyberspace and to interact with them through media. Okay, and you know, we can all become content creators actually nowadays. Yeah, so okay, so just sharing about what we had done like actually through this Veg Promo efforts. Okay, I'll just give like a overview. So as you can see, this is a tour. Okay, so we are very lucky to have Sister Wen Ting, who came back to Singapore from Taiwan, having spent many years in Taiwan Tzu Chi during the COVID period. And you know, in Taiwan, they had this 吃播 idea, eat cast. Okay, so like it led by like rather Guo Qi and all the youngsters, you know. So they will go to a vegetarian eatery and then they will do like a live sharing kind of thing over there. Yeah, so we duplicated it over to Singapore, and that was at the start of COVID 3 years ago, as you can see. So the team set up this platform, Facebook group, and there's an Instagram as well. Yeah, so you can see we had like 30 episodes of the first Eatcast. Yeah, and then actually the viewership is quite high. Yeah, first everyone was like work from home kind of thing. So it's like 5,000, 10,000 kind of thing. Yeah, accumulatively over 3 years. And you see all our Tzu Chi volunteers really, really like wear home clothes, go to the restaurant, and then we don't know what to say, but we just say because yeah, we want to support this effort lah. Yeah, so I thought, this is a very good start. Okay, that got all of us like a bit like mind blowing. Like, so we can all become like hosts and all. Yeah, and then people actually do watch, and perhaps we can like slowly change their behavior. So the Tongbo came on board like kids casting, which was like little kids. Also, they can also be 小主播, little hosts, and then they are like kids who are vegetarians. Yeah, so they also make an impact. And then further that, our medical group, our TIMA, yeah, we thought, actually we have a lot of healthcare workers who are vegetarians. Yeah, why don't we just, just come out and show the world that, actually a lot of healthcare workers are vegetarians too. Yeah, so we have this e-po, okay, which is like medic kind of stuff. Yeah, so ours is a little bit more special because every episode we will talk about like one health topic. Like for me, mine was like on osteoporosis. So we'll talk osteoporosis, then we'll eat, yeah, and then we'll share about why we turned vegetarian. Yeah, so this was yeah, our next round. Okay. Yeah, and then from there, I think the team also have very, very good ideas. They did like Shu, which is like actually books on plant-based, yeah, which they actually managed to do 25 episodes. There are so many books on like Veg Promo, yeah, that they will go to a vegetarian eatery, and then over there, then they will set up, and then they will have a book, and they say, hey, this book is about what. So it's really very interesting also. And lastly is the soup one, yeah, to teach people how to cook soup that is meatless. Yeah, so this is like our Singapore Tzu Chi little effort lah to forage into this media. Yeah, because Sister Wenting herself is Zhen Sanmei lah. She's also into the media. Yeah, so I think this 直播 platform kind of like opened my eyes to the impacts of media in Veg Promo. And this Veg Forward is actually the official platform by our Singapore Tzu Chi Fenhui, yeah, to promote veg lah. Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, it's a more professional kind of platform. And actually our 同仁, our staff actually film very, very good videos, like all these videos on how to go plant-based, and then they'll invite like nutritionists, they'll invite like, the the vegans and all, yeah, to teach everyone, yeah, and to share, yeah, even like those fitness enthusiasts, yeah. So so all these little efforts that we had done during that period. And for my community, because we were brainstorming on how to promote veg lah. So actually ours is like one of our 协力 lah, okay, which is not a big group of people, but we came out with this idea of 书友会 because we thought that, maybe we can gather all the like-minded people who are interested in plant-based, then we can come online and have some sharing. Yeah, so we also post our Zoom sharings on this like Facebook lah. Yeah, so you can see every month we have a different theme, and we invite different speakers in to share. Yeah, of course the viewership is like not that great lah, okay, but I'm glad that we persisted in this effort because we got to 结缘 with a lot of vegetarians lah, or people who are actually like enthusiastic in promoting veg. Yeah, and from there, a lot of things actually expanded and stuff. So this month we are into our 44th month of doing our 书友会 lah. Yeah, so like for example, we actually invited like Brother Zihao from KL. Yeah, so it can be actually it can actually be overseas speakers as well. Yeah, so usually what we do is that we will have a 上人开示 at the start about related to Veg Promo. After that, we will have the speakers to share their experience, their own story. Then after that, we will have like a group kind of discussion. Or sometimes we have someone to share about their own Veg Promo, their own journey of turning veg lah. Okay, so this was like our initial efforts into promoting veg lah. Okay, and then came a 21-day challenge. So again,感恩 to Malaysia, okay, Dr. Eddie and all, that came out with this amazing program that we actually like franchise over to Singapore. Okay, so this is our official Singapore Tzu Chi website, the page on 21-day challenge lah. So I'm one of the coordinators of the program in Singapore, and because I must say that we have limited number of volunteers or staff who can actually do all these videos and things lah. So that's when you realize that actually you have to do everything yourself lah. Because if not, then it's 真的很难找人, It's like also all these like sharings and all. We actually have our Tima Singapore like YouTube channel, and then I'll just like cut and post everything there lah. So our launch, our finale 圆圆 and all these like participant sharing, all these, so everything just throw onto the page lah. No matter how many people watch, it's something that as long as you put it out, people will get the chance to see. So then we learn to like cut them into like small videos to share, so that it's like bite size and not too long, because people might not sit through like the whole 1 hour program kind of thing. And then of course we had a group to do like promotional materials. So as you can see just now, our Chipo is also combined with our 21-day challenge, and we do have a lot of 21-day challenge materials. And even subsequently, when we had the collaboration with Taiwan, to do that the international version. So all this, we have our live sharing all this as well. So I want to highlight the power of using songs as a media to spread messages lah. Okay, so I'm not sure if you all had heard of our theme song of 21 Day that was actually written by our Singapore volunteers lah. Okay, and then our team actually came out with a dance, or a 健康操 kind of thing, so everyone can do it together. Okay, so I'd just like to share it. Okay, sorry, this is our 书友会 just to show some of our sharers. Okay, okay, so let's enjoy the 素21 Veg 21 song.
大燕麦经过称制，开始一天的斗志。胡萝卜、花菜、豆豉，拼凑丰富的餐食。无色食材的编织，将血压、血糖、血脂，清净无染的爱在飞驰，波动新鲜的事。嘿，21天健康舒心日，回归自然的方式，用心烹煮营养不流失，净化身心的方式。嘿，我用红橙黄绿蓝靛紫搭配温馨方程式，我们手中绿色的钥匙，开启幸福的故事。
Okay, due to time constraint, I'll just play half the song. And so you can see that our community volunteers are very on. They're all willing to come and learn the dance and do it together lah. Okay, even though you can see we are a bit paiseh, but just do it lah, just for Veg Promo. And then the next one is like a little bit more pro kind of thing. Is actually our English version. English version of our theme song lah, sang by Dr. Chi, if you know his story. Okay, so we can just have a listen as well.
Rising in the morning, some things at the horizon, ready to step forward, embrace this challenge, see the rainbow colors on my plate, painting a healthy future, bringing joy and peace and harmony through a kinder world for all.
Okay, yes. So yeah, Dr. Chi, now he has transformed after joining few rounds of the 11-day challenge. You can go to our Su Ching Singapore website to see his story. He has lost like 20 over kilos and all. Yeah, so okay, so the power of songs lah, okay. Okay, let me just skip back to this social media thing because yeah, I also went online to search like what other organizations have been doing over the years, and I'm like really very impressed by a lot of large organizations, mainly from the US, yeah, who have been really pushing for this veganism, vegetarianism, plant-based and all. Yeah, so like for example, this animal agriculture, like as you can see, they got 30K followers on IG, and then they have a periodically share all this very meaningful lah, I would say this cards, yeah, about that will get you thinking, you know, about like why are you still eating meat, you know. Yeah, and I feel that listening and reading all this, right, really kept me motivated lah. Yeah, because it brings you back to the original intent of why you want to do this law. Yeah, you know, for the animals, for health, for the environment and stuff. Yeah, so if you can do support all these platforms as well, and I'm sure that they actually will be a very great help to your own journey. And also like Telegram is another good platform. Telegram is a little bit like WhatsApp. They have groups that you can see like this plant-based news from the UK. They actually have like 3,000 over subscribers. Yeah, so they will share a lot of like all this news lah. Yeah, so they are very amazing. They come out with all these news. I didn't know there are so many news on plant-based and also all these like recipes and all. Yeah, and in Singapore, right, I'm so touched to see like this group of very enthusiastic vegans. Yeah, so they actually have these SG vegan cookies, and they will like do all this little promotional thing, yeah, you know, about the vegan activities. Yeah, and then they actually have a very active like chat thing going on. Like you can see over here, vegans of Singapore. So yeah, I also don't have time to go and read that, but there are like so many of them, you know, interacting, and they have so many like this is on like vegan travel. Then they have like general chat, they have like home cooked food, they have like advice, fitness, health, and all these things, you know, and it's not like a date group, you know. They are like so actively talking, and there are so many different people interacting and build a community. Yeah, so I get my inspiration for all of them lah. Yeah, and also share another platform because for 健康挑战 the time when our Singapore, Malaysia and Taiwan, yeah, we got together and we thought like, okay lah, let's forage into this social media lah, because this is one of the very important ways to get people to learn more. Yeah, you know, so we created this 好实力 plant-powered foodies, and like I'm you know, from one the stage where from 0 to 1 lah, okay, so from none to 1, we watched it grow. And I would like to just share that it's very, honestly, it's not easy to sustain lah. Yeah, you know, because I think a lot of all these platforms that we see, they do have content creation team. Yeah, and you know, they sometimes they do it like as a full-time thing. So over here is very difficult because we all have our own work. And also we see that, you know, gradually initially we have our 大串联健康挑战, so we have ample materials lah. Then after that our Taiwan team tried to continue to have more contents, but as everyone got busier and busier, then you can see that we have fewer viewer posts and stuff. Yeah, and then we also cross post like other platforms messages. Okay, but I realized that our original posts are definitely a lot more attractive and gather much more likes, than the ones that we cross post. So actually, people do like original materials. Yeah, so then so our efforts to revive this platform lah. So thankfully to our Malaysian friends again, yeah, we gathered a group of young Malaysian volunteers and like-minded people, like these two sisters from Penang Inner Peace. Yeah, they are also Tzu Chi volunteers lah. Yeah, so they have their own social media to promote that. So we thought, hey, maybe we can do a vegetarians gathering, to try to get to learn, like to get to know more people. Yeah, so we had one in Malaysia and then we had the second one in Singapore. So it was actually a very, very nice gathering. We had about 30 over people just by posting on social media, and then people just came. Yeah, so we are going to hold the next one in May lah. Yeah, so this is our efforts to keep a platform going. Yeah, is actually takes effort, and if anyone is interested, yeah, please do let us know. Yeah, we need all the help that we can, to get all these things going. Then, okay, so more into songs, right? Just now I was showing the Tong Xing Yuan. I think you all know about this song from Shun Fu Shi Xiong. Yeah, they created this song for kids, yeah, to showcase their love for animals lah. Okay, so this is the Malaysia.
欣桐，你的心愿是什么呀？
Yeah, so you see that like
看
yeah,
花开满了花园，
你的
听见树能够听见。
So we also thanks to the team, they actually allowed us to bring over to Singapore, and we also got our Singapore kids to sing the song lah.
小朋友们，你们的心愿是什么呀？
我的心愿是动物可以开开心心的活下去，不会被吃，都有爸爸妈妈陪。
Yeah, okay. So this became quite a hit as well lah. A very good way to promote veg. Yeah. So we are now filming. We are now like recording the English version. Okay. Because we wanted to bring it to like India, Nepal, and all for education as well. Yeah. Then the next one is yeah, this is another song written by Shun Fu Shi Xiong. Yeah. So I. This is the Love You Too. It's actually a 新年歌. Yeah, so I think you can see that your community in KL, yeah, very on. They came to sing this song, and again, like we cooked over and we borrowed. Okay, we brought to Singapore to do, and that was a very, very rushed effort. And everyone just we actually filmed it at home ourselves, and then like I just anyhow use our 美图秀秀 to cut a video out. Okay, and this year, yes, okay, so yeah, this year is a little bit different because I was asking 顺福师兄, do you have any 新年歌 to 推诉 again, like yeah, because it to me is a not bad lah. It's a very interesting method. Yeah, and I think everyone was busy that period, and we had our 义卖会 and all. But eventually, with our collective effort, a song came out, and we invited a few volunteers to film it. Yeah, so actually that time I was like thinking, yeah, just anyhow do a small one, since we also don't have time and stuff. But I was scrolling through all the 新年歌. I think this year lah, maybe 龙年 or what, there are like so many CNY songs in the market. Yeah, and then I chanced upon this one that is about a bak kwa. Like the bak kwa company actually had one very, very quite a popular CNY song that had a lot of viewership. Yeah, so I was thinking to myself, ayo, our competitors, they are promoting meat, right? They are like so aggressive about it, and here we are like trying to like just anyhow do a production and just throw it online. Yeah, so 真的很没有志气啦, okay, like we are really not putting in our best effort. Yeah, so of course, given the very minimal like manpower that we could gather and all, we came up with something lah, yeah, and I thought in the end, our media team liked it, and then they actually put it on the official Tzu Chi Singapore platform. Yeah, so this is something that is a little bit more, I would say a little bit more daring lah, because we were like wearing uniform and stuff, yeah, and we were like dancing around, yeah. So but I think in the end it became a bit quite well received, which also got me thinking that actually we probably need to like cater to what people like lah, yeah, and make it a bit more entertaining for people, like what T. Ling said, right? You want to give lectures and all, they are not interested. But if you use something that at least you can catch their eyes, like the beauty of it and or like the music and stuff, then perhaps people might be even willing to stay on screen to see what you've got. Yeah, so I just like to share this little song with everyone.
新的一年新景象，家家户户团圆饭。今年换个新的菜单，一起数数怎么样？幸福可以很简单，大家坐下吃一餐，要身体健康有妙方，就请你一起数数看。数数龙椅，欢欢喜喜，龙天护佑，大爱洒满地。数数龙椅，身体力行，一起相应，数十就在这个新年。
知识其实很容易，动物快乐活下去，只要你愿意，世界就会更美丽。知识其实很容易，动物快乐活下去。大家一起来响应。
新的一年新景象，家家户户团圆饭。今年换个新的菜单，一起数数怎么样？幸福可以很简单，大家坐下吃一餐，要身体健康有妙方，就请你一起数数看。
就数数看嘛。
数数龙椅，欢欢喜喜，龙天护佑，大爱洒满地。数数龙椅，身体力行，一起相应，数十就在这个新年。数数龙椅，欢欢喜喜，龙天护佑，大爱洒满地。数数龙椅，身体力行，一起相应，数十就在这个新年。来来来，来来来，大家一起来。来来来，来来来，我们一起来入睡。数数龙椅，欢欢喜喜，龙天护佑，大爱洒满地。数数龙椅，身体力行，一起相应，数十就在这个新年。
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is our Chinese New Year song for the Long Nian, and we hope to do one each year lah. So just like to appeal to everybody, like, actually, as you can see, we are so unprofessional, but we just like try our best. So I think everyone can do it lah, if we have we are willing to give it a try. Yeah, and personally, I feel that this is a direction that we definitely have to go into. yeah, whether we have the skills or not, because that's where everyone is spending all their time on, and that's where we can reach out to more people with our messages. And I think the vegan movement in the US, they also made a great use of all these social media and stuff, and they are very successful. So we can actually learn a lot from their efforts. Yeah. Okay, so this is my sharing for today, Garden, for your attention.
Karen, sister, it was a wonderful sharing.
Thank you.
I can see why you are the person. You're so cheerful in your disposition. It's hard not to listen to you. And I love your veggie dance. And I mean the point you mentioned about, oh, it's not so professional. You know what? I think the whole messages that come out from there is all straight from the heart, and that's the one that touches people. I mean, keep it up. I personally enjoy your sharing. Okay, I know we're running out of time, but because we don't have a third sharing, so we have a bit of time to ask questions. So if anybody want to ask any questions. Okay, if no one is asking question, I'm just a couple of points I just want to understand from your side. When you come up with this various ideas, what goes through your mind? What you must have some messages you want to get across, right? So I'm just wondering now. I'm putting myself in Singapore. Now, Singapore is a society where it's one of the richest country in the world. I've got everything that I want. And what goes through your mind to convince people that I want to go vegetarian? When I had the power of choice, because of my material attainments. So it's a bit paradoxical, isn't it? So what goes through your mind to tell yourself, this is the one that the message can across to convince people?
I would say that I'm still exploring how best to deliver it. But through these 3 years of experience, I have come to realize that actually everyone's 因缘 is different. Yeah, actually, that time we did have a chance to speak to our airboard masters. Yeah, and then I remember Sang Ren when she spoke to the I think Kaohsiung is it Hualien team promoting 21 day. She mentioned that hopefully it's not just 21 day, it can be 21 years, 21 lives, forever meaning. Yeah, so I was asking the airboard master actually how can we do it, because we are only running 21 day, then we stop. Then we run again, then we stop. So it's not sustainable at the moment. Yeah, then Shifu gave a very good answer to me because she said that everyone's affinity to turn vegetarian is different. Yeah, so it's there is no one size fits all kind of thing. Yeah, so it's just that we just got to try lor. So during this period, actually there are some things that I didn't share because it's not really media related, but I've heard that some of my healthcare workers through Shui Chan, then they turn vegetarian, 108 days. Then after that, they are vegetarian to perform in the water repentance sutra, and then subsequently they couldn't turn back to eating meat. Yeah, so we tried it. We tried it in Tima, Singapore. We had this celebrate master's birthday, and we do a sign language, and then we prayer for master. Everyone must go vegetarian for 108 days. Yeah, then actually quite a lot of people sign up, and through this process, right, actually a couple of them also managed to become vegetarian. Yeah, so this is through the power of sutra. And outside, I'm really not sure how people actually turn vegetarian, because there are so many so many 因缘 but from my own point of view is that I will just try anything possible because there is really no one size fit all. Like some is health related, some will be about climate, and like so like a couple of weeks later, I'm going to do a sharing at one of 佛诞日, one of the 师父 from another temple. They know about our 21 day, and then like, wow, this is a very, very good way. Yeah, then they invited us to share while all the people are there to have their like vegetarian dinner. Then we will like bombard them with all the health information. Yeah, so like anything that works Actually, I also don't know what will change people. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have the answer.
Okay, excellent. Okay, basically what you're saying is you go with your heart, you're sincere in what you want to do, and you're guided by the heart, and that's excellent. And you see, it is your heart that help to awaken the minds of others, and that's the sincerity part of it. Thank Kanan so much.
And I think 84000法门对治84000烦恼 right? So there is unlimited ways that we can do it.
Absolutely right. Okay. Well, that's the end of the session. Can we open up your videos and we can take a photo? Yeah. Sister Stephanie, you're back. Sister Effie, can you take the photo? Excellent.
I just want to say something. I think Sister Xin Qin and the team has really done a wonderful, wonderful job. From the time I knew her, you can see that it's from one single thought. They are going into infinite ways for this great cause. So感恩 Sister Xin Qin for the wonderful and very inspiring sharing, and also your personal insights. 感恩
sister.
Okay, the rest are very shy, so we just take the photo for whoever is not. Okay, excellent. All right, Kanan, so much, brothers and sisters. That's all the time we have for today. And as we end this session, we offer 3 bows to the Buddha and 1 bow to the airport. First bow, second bow, the third bow. Yeah, 1 bow to the airport masters. Okay, all right. There won't be a session next week because we had Chao Sang and we all would be at the respective places early in the morning. So we'll come back the week after. All right, Kanan so much, and you'll have a great weekend.
感恩 Brother Chin for wonderful hosting. 感恩大家。
Bye.
Yeah, bye.